Let's start again on this concept of making a kli as we had a kasha. The kasha was that if you take the lights, you separate the lights, now you have a kli, it was a thicker light, and you have an or, something called, we're going to call by the name of an or, that's the thinner light. And you're going to try to put the two of them together. But what happens when you put the two of them together, they go back the way they used to be. Because the more refined light is now going to refine and take away some of the thickness that was in the kli. So you have to have, the Eibishter has to have a plan here, how it's going to be possible, because the way that this is going starts out good, sounds like an idea, but on the other hand, when you put them back together again, you mevatel the whole idea that you started with. So here we go on number Tes Zion, on page Lamed Zion. So he he says a truba bezehi. One second, let me make a little note here. So he says, the truba bezeh. So how do we answer this? So I told you this in another place. Now, I'll translate that. I'm going to make a comment. He says that all of the lights, the 10 lights, he says, call spheros, rather, sorry. He says all the 10 spheros don't come back from the mouth. Amnam hadchesha levadam yardo. Only 9 of them come back. V'cha'elyona shuha hakeser. So the upper one, which is the keser, because now he started to become more specific about the nature of what's inside the panimi of this. And so since he says there are 10 spheros, even though we understand that the haakudim is only one sphera with 10 parts, but now he wants to interchange the words. You could always interchange the words, but they're trying to keep track of what we're talking about at the place where we're talking about it. So he says, Helyona, which is the keser of these lights. It's the brightest light, or the most close to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Nishar tamed sham im ha'ma'atzil. It doesn't come back. It stays continuously, perpetually, with the ma'atzil. So now you find what's the next light. Now we see gradations in the light that's coming back. The light of Chochmah, who shachaz lehislavish b'kli keser. So let's just understand what we're saying now. We have a stream of light that came down. 10 pieces of it went back into the mouth of Ak. He's now postulating that there are 10 parts to it. And only 9 of them come back. The top one doesn't come back. Now, where are they going to go? They're going to go to the 10 spots that they originally came from, which is between the mouth and the chazer. They're going to go back to those places. V'chein Shaar spheros, all the rest of the spheros. So the Chochmah will be in Keser, that is the Kli of Keser, and then Bina will be in the Kli of Chochmah. And then what's the next one is, the next one, let's say it's Chesed. Well, just to see whether you can use Das over here or not. So Chesed is going to come back into the Kli of Bina, and everything will be mismatched. If you had the light of Keser go into the Kli of Keser, they would become mixed together and you wouldn't know the difference. But if you have a lesser light come into the bigger Kli, so now you have a smaller light, which is the light of Chochmah, coming into the Kli of Keser, so now that's going to be okay. It's not going to mevatel anything because it doesn't have the ability. So he says, let me see, he said, you call them a Kalim the Kabbalah, or so now the Kalim, which are arranged from Keser down to Malchus, are going to be able to handle the light that's coming back, which is now less than its match, doesn't match from what it was originally. Let's look on the left-hand column on page Lamed Zion. It's going to be Posuk Tes Zion and the light print. So the answer to the kasha of how do you keep this from becoming nullified? If you had the more refined light coming back to be mislavish inside of the thicker light, so every bit of the light, the 10 parts of this light, are going to go back into the kli that was originally paired with it. Then certainly you would have a nullification of the kli, because the or azak would come back, join together with it. You're back with one one light instead of two. Below v'choye nicker shum kli b'hakudim, you would never recognize that there was a kli there in those lights. Ach mekevin she'or ha-keser lo chazer, the red is the mata, but since the keser light doesn't come back, elohu nishar tameh davuk b'ma'atzilo, but it always remains clinging to its host, that is the ma'atzil that caused these things to come out. Shehu peh da'ak, which is the mouth of Ak. Below yarda l'mato, and it didn't come down lower, mitoch ha'peh da'ak, into the mouth of Ak. Alatisha oros bilvad, only 9 lights come back. Nimseim kain, so it comes out like this. Shechelek ha'keser shebekli the haakudim, that the part of the keser that referred to the kli of the kudim. Now remember, he says the part, right? Because it's only one kli. So the part of the kli of the kudim, lo kibel es or hakeser. So you're not matching the light of the refined light of keser with the thicker light of keser. Instead, as I said before, you're going to match the light of chachma with the kli of keser. Ela es or ha-chachma. It's chachma that comes back. Also the part of the chachma with the kli, lo kibel es or chachma, it's not going to get the light of chachma. Ela es or bina, it's going to get the light of bina. V'chein kulam, and all of them are going to be like that. B'ofen shechelek hayisod shebekli, in this way, that the portion, when you get down to the yisod of the kli, kibel es or hamalchus, it gets a lesser light, it gets the light of malchus. Now here's an interesting idea that we have to preserve. This idea is that now you have the kli, which we're going to the part of the kli, which is going to be called the malchus. Nishar lolo or cloud doesn't have any light in it at all. It's empty, right? Because there's only 9 lights coming back, and it's already been in 9 places, and there's no 10th light. V'im came nimsa. So therefore we find ki ha'or ha'choizer lehikane b'kli ha'kudim, so the light that's coming back into the vessel of the kudim, who enenu kol kach godel kafi shuchoy b'techilo, so the light coming into the kelim is going to be weaker than it used to be. It's not so great like it was. Shahari kol chelek b'kli kibul or moed b'ma shuchoy b'kodim, because every single portion of this kli is going to get a lesser light than it had originally. When it first came out of the peh da'ak. So again, you have the light coming out of the peh da'ak is a mixture. The more refined light goes back up. The keser doesn't come out again. It stays with, clinging, and enjoying every moment of the light of the matzo. But only the chachma comes back. The chachma goes into the kli of keser, and everything is a lesser light inside of the kelim. So therefore we see, as the lights are coming back and spreading into the kli, so therefore the aspect of the kli will not be nullified, and it will still be there. So therefore we find like this, that we find here now that we understand that the kelim are thicker than the lights that are in them. But even so, now think about his language here, the kelim are always going to be a higher madrega than the light that's in them. That's what he says. Because let's say the kli of keser belongs to the light of keser. But the light that actually goes into it isn't the light of keser, because it stays with the ma'atzo. Who rock chachma. It's only chachma that goes into the kli of keser. V'chein al zuha derech b'shar spheros kulam, and the same thing happens with all the rest of the spheros. Shekol kli hu min ha-sphera el-yona, because every kli comes from the lower sphera. V'ha'or ha-niknaz ba, and the light that comes into it, hu mis-sphera shalamata b'menu, is from the sphera, that is the kli that was below it. So you have a mix mash, and that allows the kelim to stand. Let's see, we're bouncing a little bit. Sorry. Now, the next one is like this. Number Yud Zayin. Up at the top of page Lamed Ches. He said, "Vehine kulum yatsa bebechinas nefesh bilvad." Now here's a new idea. Where do we get this word nefesh from? All of them come out only with the aspect of the nefesh. The second sod Posuk, this is the secret of this Posuk, which is Posuk in Amos. Nishbach Hashem havaya benafsho, that Hashem swore by his nefesh. Ki hatzilus hu nikra nikudim. Now, these are words that he's bringing in. It's like a preview of coming attractions. So the Atzilus, what we call Atzilus, which is the highest level, that Atzilus is right next to Ak. The Atzilus, who Nikra Nikudim, that is, Atzilus is called Nikudim. Commotion Evarb as is Hashem. There's a whole Shaar coming up after this Shaar, which is called Shaar Nikudim. Vuha Nikra Shem Havaya. So Havaya is called Nikudim. We don't understand why. Maybe the Tib will say something about it, I don't know. But later over there, we're going to see what it means. That is, that this Havaya actually has something which is higher than that. And this Havaya, that is the Olam Akudim, has something higher, which is Olam Akudim. But what part of the Olam Akudim are we dealing with? It's the part of the Akudim which is called the Nikudim, the Akudim, which is called Nefesh. Who Olam HaKudim and Nizkar, Olam of the Kudim. What he's talking about here is that swearing by the Nefesh is talking about swearing on a higher level, which is the more Panimi level, which is the level of a Kudim. Asher Kulim Yatsa Bebechinas Nefesh Bilvad. All of the Kudim come out only as a Nefesh. And Mizet Ta'amik V'tira, so you'll go deep into this. And there is a lot of depth to this. V'tira kama amku machshavosav yisbarach, and you'll see how deep are the thoughts of Hashem Yisbarach. Ka'afilu olam ha'elyon shel akudim, that even this high, unbelievably deep level, which is called akudim, ain't rak bechinas nefesh levad. It's only the bechina of a nefesh. Now he's going to introduce, and is introducing strongly here, the concept of what we're going to call Naranchi. I have a chavrusa that pronounces it Narnachi, but Rabbi Memram pronounces it Naranchi. We'll leave it like that. Let's see what he says on Yud Zion in the Tiv. To give us an idea, we have this concept of nefesh now. All of a sudden, we have this concept of nefesh. So he says in a light print, Le'el bi'arno, up above we explain. Shoras del kudim lo yatzu shleimen, we said that they don't come out complete. Behis pashtus rishon v'hutzru lachzor lema'atzel leishtalim sham. So they have to come back to the ma'atzel to work there, to become completed there. V'chesronam choya bezos, and so what they're lacking is this. Now listen, should be yetziasam heim lo yatzu b'kol chamesh b'chino sehem. Because when they come out, they don't come out with all of their different aspects. What aspects is he talking about? Shehem nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. These are gradations of light. So that the lowest part of the light is called nefesh. We understand this word nefesh. We understand the word ruach. It's a higher level. We understand another level, which is called neshama, which is a higher level or more pure. We have another level, which is called chaya, which is the fourth level. We have a level above that, which is called yechida. We'll deal with this a little bit. When we talk about lights, we always call it Naranchi. That's the Naranchi is the ore that's inside of the kelim. So the only part of this light that came out of the Pada'ak was the weakest part. Now remember, to always have this concept that the weaker parts are really the more physical elements of when we speak about our nefesh. That we're talking about the spiritual aspect of our gufs, of our bodies, because it's the most, it's the lower part. Nefesh, ruach, neshama, chay, yechida, ela yatsa rak bechinas nefesh to call echad ve'echad bechem. Shihah madrega hanumucha, this is the lowest level b'yoser, the most lower. Umikol chachamesh bechinas halalu. So we see there are five levels there, like the five fingers on your hand. Uvazech yizboyer sod Posuk nishba havaya benafsho. This explains the secret of a posuk that he mentioned before in Amos. V'hu ki havaya meramez al olam hanekudim that when you use the word Havaya, it refers to something we'll learn later, which is called Olam HaNekudim. Hayotze min ha'anayim da'ak, these lights, the Nekudim, actually come out from the eyes of Ak. Shuhu asa dehiyos Olam HaChatzilus, and then eventually it's going to come a reverse, it's going to, in the Tikkun, the Olam HaNekudim is going to become the Olam called Atzilus. V'omedu meir min tibur da'ak ad kapos raglov. So this is an Olam that if you saw Ak and you reminded it of yourself or of another man, it would be from the belly button of this man down to below his feet. The Gilui on Haga, the Atzilus, who Shem Havaya. So when you see how it is that Atzilus works, the way that it works is from the numbers or the letters Yud, K, Vav, K. So we have a big secret to learn over there about them. But on the other hand, we've already learned a little bit about those letters. So on the other hand, that represents Nekudim. V'yavur l'kaman. So later on we're going to say Shaar Nekudim, B'haricho. So there's a lot missing here. But as the Rav does, he's teaching you language and concepts. He has to start by introducing them someplace, maybe not in the right place yet. There's a little bit ahead. V'olam ha'atzilus hazeh. So this Olam ha'atzilus, Nishma b'bedrega shehi yoser el yonim imenu, it swears by the level that is higher than it. Shehu olam ha'akudim hayotzim in epad da'ak, which is the olam of akudim that comes out of the mouth of Ak, a mayor ad the tibur shalo, and it shines down to the tibur, and that's the answer to the question where I said that the akudim come out. I don't remember if they came to the cause. Sorry, or to the belly button, came to the chest, to the belly button. Now he says the Odakudim is all the way down to the belly button. So from the belly button upwards is where, of Ak, that's where we see the Kudim. This is what it means when it says that Hashem swore by his soul. Because the aspect of this Havaya, which is Olam Atzilus, Nishbata v'taluya, that it is sworn and dependent on, but nefesh Kudim, it develops out and it's born out of the nefesh, which represents Nekudim. Now this is a really, really rich piece of information here, but we're only seeing the outside of it. Ki oros Nekudim yatsa rak bebechinas nefesh bilvad, that's a fact. Later on, we're going to see that the Akudim are going to get the rest of the lights. They're going to get the Ranchi. So we have the Naranchi, Nefesh Ruach Chaya Yechida, Nefesh Ruach Neshama Chaya Yechida. That's 5. We're coming out here only with 1, which is the Nefesh. That means the Ranchi, or the Ruach, the Neshama, the Chaya Yechida, will be added to it. And we'll be discussing that. Mekan as Shaar HaBechinosehem. Ruach Neshama Chai Yechida, basically saying it right now. But when they first come out, they're only aspect of a nefesh. So therefore we have this pasuk, by his soul, where he's talking about the Olam HaKudim. Sham Bechinos, Sham Bechinaso. That's its aspect there. One more in the Tiv. It's number Yud Ches. Umezeh na'amek v'nizbainim oitzim amkus machshavas HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So now we look in, we go deep into it. Try to understand a little bit how there's a plan that's going on in creation. And understand otzem amkus machshavas HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the depth, the point, the ultimate depth of the thought of the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Shechafilo olam hakudim, that even if we're talking about this world which is called olam hakudim, and then ukiim bechinas nefesh bilvad, it's only an aspect called nefesh. Shuhu hachelek hakatan biyosim metoch chamesh bechinas narantchi, which is the smallest light, the most dim light, that has to do with Narantchi. Rak ha-nefesh efsher lahamshech v'locha medrega v'lo medrega shehi l'malach imenu. Now also this nefesh, it's possible to be extended out without different medregos. V'lechein ta'amek v'tavin kama v'kama medregos. I think what he meant to say, it comes out by itself. So he said, ta'amek v'tavein kama v'kama medregos, and I can understand how many different kinds of medregos yesh ad ein sof baruch. Okay, that's a shir.